Buy Bitcoin before it's too late, okay? Because this is why Bitcoin was created. For all these reasons that Satoshi couldn't even fathom back in 2008 when he wrote the white paper and then finally released Bitcoin in 2009. There were problems already. There were banks and financial collapses that happened in 2008. But I don't even think Satoshi could have imagined just, 15 years later, the situation we're in now. Okay, but regardless, we got Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is just better in every single way. Okay, you can't do what the government's doing around the world by printing an unlimited amount of fiat whenever they want to, raising rates whenever they want to, or cutting rates whenever they want to, right? All the shenanigans that we're seeing right now with monetary policy, with quantitative tightening, right? All these things, you don't have to worry about that with Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin has a set supply, it has a set inflation rate, and that inflation rate gets cut in half every 4 years. It's really simple. No one can shut down Bitcoin. No one can inflate Bitcoin. No one can destroy Bitcoin, really. Well, you could lose your private keys, but it is controlled by the people, managed by the people, and it's distributed around the world. So it can't be shut down or stopped or changed in any way. It's just such a better system. That's why gotta buy Bitcoin before it's too late. Okay, so Adam Black, cypherpunk, okay. I gotta talk about cypherpunk in a little bit. But Adam Black believes Bitcoin is digital gold for the next millennium. I mean, yes, of course. It's better than gold in every single way, okay? It's easier to transport, it's easier to secure, right? You could actually use it and pay for things. Imagine trying to shave a bar of gold at Subway or Starbucks or McDonald's. No, that's not possible, right? Bitcoin is better as a store of value than gold in every single way. The only use cases for gold that's better than Bitcoin, I guess, would be jewelry and electronic stuff that's needed. But as a store of value, as a medium exchange, as a digital network, Bitcoin is better in every single way. And one day, Bitcoin will catch up to gold's market cap and surpass it. That day may be sooner than we think because of all the institutional interest, with the world recognizing Bitcoin as a legitimate digital currency and a store of value. No one is trying to shut it down anymore. In fact, they're welcoming the miners because all the states and countries are making boatloads of tax money from the miners, and also they're using that money to improve their electrical grid. So it's a win-win. And there's a lot of wasted gas, like flare gas from the oil companies, that could be used for Bitcoin mining. There's so many positives to Bitcoin mining. But one day, when Bitcoin catches up to gold in market cap, Bitcoin will be worth $700,000. $700,000 per Bitcoin to reach a $13 trillion market cap. It's probably not going to come this cycle. Probably not going to come next cycle. Well, you know what? I take that back. It could. It could be a reality for next cycle. If this cycle Bitcoin hits 250,000 or even 200,000, right? That's less than a 4x to get to 700,000 from there. So maybe we could get there next cycle. Even if we can't, maybe the cycle after that. Every cycle is only 4 years. So we're not talking about like 400 years in the future. No, we're just talking about 4 years. So worst case scenario, let's just say 10 years, 8 to 10 years. Bitcoin could be at $700,000 each, right? That's why it's important to buy now and accumulate now versus later when it's too late, when Bitcoin will be too expensive for most to afford even one, right? Let alone 0.1. When Bitcoin's at 700,000, even 0.1 Bitcoin costs 70,000, which is still way more than what people could afford. So then you got to go down another decimal point. 0.01 at that point will be $7,000, right? You could buy 0.01 Bitcoin for very cheap right now, just a few $100s. But in the future, just get a fractional amount of Bitcoin is going to cost people thousands of dollars. So don't wait until that happens. Buy and hold and accumulate now while things are still cheap, right? And you can see it. I mean, everything I've been talking about with the government, with the debt ceiling, I mean, the just endless debt and overspending. Why would you trust fiat at this point, right? You want to be holding something better. And we happen to be in a buy zone, okay? If you're looking at RSI, this is a really good visual, color-coded RSI, right? You can see where the tops are, and of course, you can see where the bottoms are and the buy zone, and Bitcoin is in a buy zone. We're not even in the hodl zone. We're clearly in the buy zone because we're not above $48,000 yet. That is when Bitcoin kind of moves up into the hodl zone, but right now, it's still very, very cheap. This is the time to be accumulating. And eventually, we're going to move up. As we get closer and closer to having an event, we will hit kind of that Fibonacci level that we always do, right? And that's right around like the 48,000 mark. And, we're just going to trend up slowly towards that mark unless we get some spot Bitcoin ETFs approved this year. We have some deadlines coming up next month. If we get one or all approved, well, we will hit 48,000 like almost immediately. If we don't and it gets pushed back into 2024, which is fine, we'll just slowly trend upwards until the end of the year. And then 2024 is when we start the quadfecta of pumps, like I like to call it. The quadfecta is coming in 2024, and it will be marvelous. It'll be insane. Okay, so it's looking good, guys. Looking good. What else going on? Bitcoin gains legal recognition in Shanghai, China. That's awesome, right? It's gaining recognition everywhere. Like I said at the beginning, no one is trying to ban Bitcoin. It's too late for that. Even in 2017, we heard about it. Even up until 2020, we were still hearing about it. But now we don't hear about it. No one is trying to ban Bitcoin mining. In fact, you got more and more countries becoming more favorable to Bitcoin, right? And I think that trend is going to continue. We're going to see more and more countries come out and say, you know what? Bitcoin isn't so bad, right? Let's allow it to flourish. Let's get in, let's get in all the miners, right? And also let's collect the tax revenue from all these Bitcoin millionaires and billionaires. Why would you want to shut it down?